Hey there, it's Dusty with yet another story for you. This one comes from AITA and is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Hiding My Boyfriend's Dead Dad's Heirlooms? I, 27 female, and my boyfriend, 32 male, recently moved in together after dating for 8 months. I know that seems early, but given rent and our schedules, it just made sense. He owns the house, which he inherited from his father, who passed away last year. The house has all of his dad's old furniture, art, and knickknacks, and while they're not horrible in quality, they're not really my style. The plaid wallpaper is a bit overwhelming, but my real issue is that there are a shocking number of ducks, bird sculptures, a coat rack with birds carved into them, bird paintings, etc. Honestly, it's a lot of birds, and I really want to make this our home, but it feels like I'm living in his dead dad's bird mind palace. His bird mind palace. I mean, he really liked ducks, so, what are you going to do? Also, he inherited the duck house. So we've spoken about getting new furniture and redecorating the house, but every time I so much as mention the birds, he completely shuts down. I understand he may have sentimental value here, but he has never really told me about his dad's bird obsession before, and I really am struggling to understand why these birds are so important. I mean, I'm willing to keep a few select birds for sentimentality's sake, but the sheer number of birds currently is just ridiculous. Last week, I removed one of the less conspicuous birds and hid it in the basement to see if he would notice or care. He didn't say anything. So the next day, I took another. I've now hidden 7 birds, and yesterday, he finally confronted me about it. I came clean, but said that if it took him so long to notice, then what does it matter? So much that we keep them all. He started yelling about how heartless I am and how I am debasing his dad's memory. So I could understand better, I asked him straight up, what is so special about the birds? And he said, if you can't get that now, you never will. We haven't spoken since last night. I don't want the birds to get in the way of our relationship, but I really don't want them in my home. I think I'm the asshole for hiding the birds instead of talking to him about it. I also think I forgot something about his dad, which makes me an even bigger asshole. Am I the asshole for hiding them? So, okay, OP still doesn't, OP's supposed to just know what the bird issue is, but is like, I still don't get it. Obviously, he has some kind of obsession with ducks, right? Or he was a duck hunter. But, I mean, you missed an opportunity here. As you started hiding things and he confronted you about it, you'd be like, yeah, it's called duck hunt. You have to find them. And then you turn it into a thing and you just keep snowballing it, right? It's like every day you don't find one, another one disappears. It's like a twisted game. I get it though. But there are some considerations here. Like first, you inherited, or he inherited this house. It's his house. So you have limited ability to even speak up and be like, hey, change everything. But having conversations about, maybe one space, start with like one space at a time. And go from there. But there's an obvious grieving attached to the ducks. And you've got to give him his own, you got to let him move at his own pace for that. He clearly is struggling with it too. So keeping the ducks around is him keeping his dad around to him. And everybody grieves differently, but this may end up becoming a thing that he needs some help to kind of process and get through. Because it seems like he just shuts down as soon as you bring it up. He doesn't want to talk about it at all. He's very opposed to anybody doing anything with the ducks. And his dad may have been that way too. Like his dad may have been like, don't with the ducks. My ducks.
I love it.
My ducks, my ducks, my ducks. Check it out. This one goes a quacking. Okay. I think you stepped on some toes by not communicating about it first, and you kind of tested the waters, but you knew that he shut down immediately, so you knew that there was a strong opposition to do anything with the ducks. I think at that point, it becomes okay, there's something deeper here. It's obviously an attachment to his dad. How do we move forward from this? It's a baby step kind of process. I don't know that taking the ducks and hiding the ducks was the right move, because all it did was elicit a negative response. And if your goal here is to eventually get to the point where the house doesn't have to be covered in ducks, tricking him is probably not the way to get that done, right? Joey doesn't share ducks. Regardless, yeah, them not being there does him harm, right? Because it harms his grieving process here. And I think not realizing that there's an obvious deeper emotional connection to those is a screw up on OP's part here. I don't think there was malicious intent behind it. I don't think she was trying to hurt him. She was trying to test the waters and see. She was testing boundaries, right? And while I don't agree with that method, I don't think it was malicious. I don't think she was trying to harm him. I don't think that she was trying to debase his father's memory. That's a new word. I'm gonna have to look it up. I think it might have been erase. She wasn't trying to do that. She was just trying to inch towards something she was more comfortable with, just did it in a way that was non-communicative. And like we see so many times, that is the downfall of a relationship, the inability to communicate and just doing things or stonewalling and just expecting the other party to read your mind. And there's a huge chasm of misunderstanding there. So I'm sticking with Ascon 2. I'm going to stick with it. Yeah, Ascon is our version of asshole.
No, but about this story, I feel like no matter whose house it is when you move in as a couple, you can't just say, it's my house, my rules. If you choose to move forward in your relationship and you choose to live together, that's your home together. And so both people have to be comfortable in that home together. But I do think what she did was wrong. Instead of, like you said, use your words, don't just test boundaries without communicating. But she also deserves the right to feel comfortable with where she lives, and so does he. So like they have to figure it out together. It can't just be the ducks stay, and if that's the case, then the ducks stay and she goes.
He doesn't give a duck how I feel.
Yeah, I just don't. I wouldn't have. Dusty moved into the house that I had bought, and we made it our home together, and I wouldn't have asked you to like move
I didn't come in and start hanging guitars on the wall.
No.
You know what I mean?
But you moved in and it was your home, like, and I wouldn't want you to come into our home and not feel like you belong there. So I think you have to take into consideration.
So I can hang guitars on the wall.
So what she did
at home right now.
Yeah, put the duck somewhere in the house. Make one room
Have a
dedicated
duck room.
to that.
Yeah, a duck room.
And be done with it. But I think you can't just say she's the giant asshole because it doesn't work like that.